Hey, this is Dave Chenault here, and this is a private video for the call tomorrow we're going to have about Flow and what we're doing with it around our CRM app. So I'm going to take you quickly through the flow here, and then I'm going to run it. I'll have a couple pauses here, and then I'll go from there. So basically, this flow is a pretty complex one. We have a way that we store the last time it was run in our SharePoint app. And then we walk through all of the items in SharePoint in our contact list that had been modified since the last time we've run it. And then what we do after that is we run through it, and if there's a record there that needs to be created, it goes ahead and creates the records in Outlook for us, which is pretty cool. And you can see in this case there was just one here where we just updated, but if it didn't exist we would go ahead and create it over here in this contact, but it was skipped on this flow run. And then going over here on the Outlook side, we go through the Outlook contacts the same way, and then we loop through those and we create a SharePoint contact record over in our app that we have. So here it's creating that contact, and it's updating the Outlook contact if that had been changed as well. So you can see that that one was skipped, but here it had already been created, and we're just going through and updating it, etc., if it needed to be. So it's a pretty complex flow, and that's sort of the purpose of the call tomorrow. Is a couple of things we want to talk about around, how do we monetize all this? This is a lot of work to make it work properly, and also how can we support this down the line? We want to talk to you about, is there a way we can sort of lock things down? And finally, around maybe parameters, like if there's a way, because we want to get this going for a big audience, they have to go into the SharePoint. Anytime you see the little S here, they're going to have to modify that for their instance of SharePoint. So let's go take a look over here on the SharePoint side. We have an app that we sell in the SharePoint store, and that app has leads, accounts, opportunities, contacts, etc. I'll just give you a quick sort of show and tell of that thing. And you can see that, we've got a full CRM app that people buy and installs into SharePoint. It has opportunities, tasks, contacts, etc. But the thing we're concerned about here are the contact records, because what we want to do is keep these in sync. So if I add a contact record here in SharePoint, then I want it to sync over into Outlook, which is over here. Let's take a look at that. And then if I add a contact in Outlook, I want that to sync over into that SharePoint contact list over here. And so the idea is that there's one master set of contacts that all the people in the company have. And if they change it in Outlook, it updates in our CRM app. And if it updates in the CRM app, then it updates in the Outlook contacts folder. And there's a long discussion about the best way to manage those contacts over in Outlook, whether you use a shared contacts folder or put it in your My Contacts, etc. That's another discussion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new record in Outlook and a new record in SharePoint, and then I'm going to run the flow, and we'll see that those get updated. So I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and added in Eugene Krabs here on the Outlook side of things, and in our SharePoint hosted app, I ended in Squidward Tentacles here. So you'll see Eugene Krabs is not on this side, and you'll see that Squidward Tentacles is not on this side. So now I want to run the flow to get these two to synchronize. So I'll go ahead and force it to run now. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I will come back after it's run and show you what it did. Okay, I am back and it ran successfully as we expected it to. So let me show you the results, and then there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. So we'll go over here to the contacts, and you'll see that we've got Eugene crabs here, which is great. And we also have Squidward tentacles here as well. So now we've synchronized between Outlook and SharePoint on the Outlook side. And if we come over here into SharePoint land and refresh that page, let's see, this one was, we're looking for Eugene crabs to show up here. So let's refresh it. And there he is right there. And if I open it up, we'll see that data is sitting there, which is super cool. So we have this sync running and it works, and it's pretty complex. There's a lot, as you can see, to it. There's a bunch of JSON and stuff that we've got to parse through from the Outlook side of things. So the main thing I wanted to show you is, if you noticed here on the SharePoint side, when I get the SharePoint record, it's going to, on the items here, it grabs it based on the last time we ran it. And if you notice, it's got just the one item that it filtered on based upon the last run, right? But on the Outlook side, it's getting all 19. And that's because for whatever reason, when you're doing the OData filtering on the Outlook contact items, it doesn't honor the timestamp. So when I do the OData here, and I look at my format time and get the date time last modified greater than, this expression here, for whatever reason, it's not honoring the time. It just goes by the date. So if I run this tomorrow and I don't make any changes, the array is going to be empty that it grabs. But if I run this anytime today, it'll grab all the things I added today because it doesn't recognize the timestamp on the OData filter. But that's a technical thing we can talk about later. Just wanted to bring it up. So bottom line is that we have this very powerful sync between SharePoint contacts and Outlook contacts working, which is great. And we can run it, every day like we want to, which is great. And it works very well. So we're looking to you guys to help us figure out how we're going to deploy this, monetize this, because if you look over in AppSource, so we'll look over there. I'll just show you guys real quick here. And you put in Sidekick, which is our apps over there. You can see that we sell this app over here in the AppSource today. And we're going to be listing a Power App that goes with this, which is done. We're just working through that with Akansha and those guys. And, we want to list our flows with you guys. We have another couple flows planned for this app. And we also have a Power BI dashboard template that we're also listing up in AppSource. So we're just trying to figure all this stuff out. And the purpose of the call tomorrow, now that you have a little background, is to really get into the guts of how we're going to do this on a wider scale when we have all these pieces. We have the SharePoint app, we have the flows, we have the Power app, we have the Power BI templates, and how we do that. We built them, they work, it's great. Now we're going to market and we want your help. So let's have the call tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for your time on this, and look forward to our call.